Top 3 trends of 2019, I think we're probably both agreed. It's going to be something along the
similar
lines of personalization being a key area.
Yep, definitely.
Which is going to be all about focusing on the consumer. We've then got the likes of augmented reality, virtual reality, which is really exciting at the moment. We're seeing that with Nike. Some of your clients are probably doing that
definitely.
as well. What else do you think?
I think the key with number one though is to fully use that data to understand your customers. So understand why they're buying from you, not buying from anyone else.
Yeah.
Use technologies in a way that enables a customer to actually buy again and buy more. And then really sort of hone that data set and ask that data set, are you meeting your customers' needs right now? And if not, how can we meet those customer needs?
Yeah, I think there's one extra you could do, which is it's all around consumers basically, focusing on the customer. So then it's subscriptions.
Yeah.
So being able to keep that engagement cycle, that customer life cycle, as frequent as possible by offering products and services from a company point of view, rather than just the one-off product sale, which I think you guys support as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to payment after the fact and recurring payments as well. So I think if you ties in nicely.
Like if you actually look at those payment types, all they're doing is allowing a customer to actually try those items before they actually pay for them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
for me for example, I can buy a shirt from a retailer and I can try it on before I actually pay for it. So for me it's a reason to go and buy from another retailer, and all that retailer's really done is looked at me as a consumer and really honed their offering to what I'm actually looking for.
Yeah, just reinforcing the brand, their identity, how valuable they are to the consumer as well.
Yeah.
All consumer focused.
I think for me, number 2 is sort of a real honing of the social shopping. So obviously we saw the announcement from Instagram recently about the buy button on Instagram. Essentially being able to go from browse to click inside my own device, my own social media channel, from end to end without having to reload another page. It's going to be really powerful. And then you sort of focus in on that, the rise of influencers, certain influencers wearing certain things.
Well, this is all around building trust.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, the likes of Klarna being quite a public sort of entity now, it all builds trust for the consumer to get confident purchasing through that journey.
Yeah, they see their favorite influencer wearing it, they can buy it, they can pay for it up to 30 days later. So it really fits into the whole cycle of want it now, instant gratification. And I think if you really hone that messaging, or that you have a very clear strategy, you're going to maximize your returns from that channel.
Yeah.
I mean, payment is a huge piece of any website journey, in fact of any purchase journey anywhere, offline and also online. But if you think about it, it's the heartbeat of the site. You can have all the bells and whistles upstream, great marketing, great SEO, great PPC, but if you fall down at the payment piece, you've lost that consumer. So I think what we're going to start to see, and what we've seen over the last 12 to 18 months, is a shift away from strictly payment upfront, card payments and wallet payments. So diversifying away from those probably core payment types is super important. And I think if you look at other markets, so Europe, for example, the Netherlands have payments we have here, but they also have a payment type called Ideal.
Yep.
Again, putting the consumer first, offering a localized customer their localized payment types. Germany, again, with invoice and support, very different to what we see from over
bank
here.
To bank as well.
Bank to bank transfer.
Yep.
So giving the customer the ability to.
And then you've got the Middle East and
cash on delivery.
I think the key is it's about innovating away from, as you guys put it, it's the kind of buying process and then the paying process, and split those two. So the first one is friction free, and the latter one is after you've actually got confidence in the product and the brand and the delivery of it. We always talk about the fact that you've got probably 30% of the entire customer journey from first landing on the site through to delivery up to the point of payment. So if you add too much friction in that point, you've lost your customer, you've lost them for good, you can't have that goodwill of customer lifetime value as well. So the whole thing is actually falling on its face if you don't have a proper structure in place when it comes to the checkout. For us, it goes down as a platform, it goes down to how we can encourage consumers to convert better. For all of our clients, all they're looking for is how can they increase conversion rates from all their marketing activities, as you say, driving people onto the website, making the speed of click from product to checkout and confirmation of checkout as slick as possible. And I think some of the things that you guys are doing, and also some of the innovations that we're doing on a platform, help that process be more streamlined.
Yeah, the more customers you can get from A to B, the more customers are going to convert on the site, the easier that you make it. Those customers are then more likely to come back onto the site and purchase again. And essentially all you've done is create a better experience for them. And I think if we look at other markets, China, for example, with Alipay and WeChat Pay,
that's amazing.
like the volumes or the number of users is incredible. And all that they've done is made it easy for a customer to buy, and that customer's then going on and buying using that payment method again. And it's something that we've seen on our retailers with customers asking other retailers why they're not offering Pay Later or one of our other products. So you start to see this snowball effect of once one retailer offers it in a space, everyone else is like, we need to have that as well.
Well, that's it. We talk about the empowered consumer when we talk about anything to do with our websites, and I think it's critically important that we think about consumers as much more empowered. They're much more knowledgeable about what they're buying, whether it's a service or a product. They know what they want, they know when they want it, and they want it now typically. Yeah. So anything they can do to help expedite that is really valuable.
Yeah, and I think you see that cycle of payments around payday. Yeah. So you see that the last week, the last week and the first week, and you spend so much focus on that one sort of window. Yeah. But what about if you could extend that window across the whole month? So your ROI from your SEO, from your PPC, from influencers, from all of your other marketing channels is increased simply by diversifying away from solely relying on the customer having payment there and then.
Yeah, I think it also builds trust in the brand, which is really important. So there's obviously trust in the likes of the payment gateways, but also trust in the brand, trust in the product, trust in the experience they're delivering, which is a key thing for a brand to always be focusing on. And I think brands don't focus on that enough because they don't consider the whole journey. Yeah. And I think as long as they're considering payments, logistics and delivery and the earlier part of the journey, then that's the key.
But like post-purchase is almost as important as pre-purchase. Yeah. That is the critical aspect that you need to nail in order to get that customer back onto the site. And that's where quite often I've seen brands fall down with slow delivery times, unclear delivery methods, things like that. Like everyone's focused on getting the customer to the payment piece, but you need to get that customer to want to come back onto the site.
Absolutely. Top tips for 2019. I think go back to the start, we can think about personalization.
Yep.
There's obviously a critical element there, but that goes back to looking at how our customers are all treated from a brand point of view. So understanding your client, understanding the customer, you'll be able to engage them better in a much more fulfilling lifestyle sort of way. And that goes back to some of the engagement we were talking about, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think the big question to ask yourself is, why am I doing this? Why am I selling? Why are customers buying from my site, not my competitors, or why they're buying from my competitors? And really understanding what your customers are looking for, and then meeting those needs. So a really good example of this is Gymshark. So I know they gave a talk today, but Gymshark outlined that their consumer was looking for, it's a community, it's a brand, so their content is very community focused. And I think quite often retailers will fall down with their social channels because all they do is plug products. But if we can tell a story and create an emotional connection with that consumer there and then, they're much likely to buy from me.
Of course,
as
it's
a customer.
about that confidence building.
Yeah.
I suppose that goes on to the sort of convenience that brands are able to offer as well, which is one of the key things that we're seeing this year. Direct shipping to store, what's the sort of direct to consumer approach like for a brand? How can they engage with someone right through to the point of logistical side of things and get that product to them as soon as possible? Yeah. So facilitating those sorts of easy shipments, which I think Klarna supports really well when it comes to that ability to test products before they actually ultimately purchase them. And I think that's a really nice innovation that we've had in the last year or so, which will be more prevalent in the next year, I would have thought.
There's lots of different brands we can mention in terms of innovation. For me, there's probably a couple that I've noticed. One of our joint brands, Six Silk, outlined that their consumers wanted to be part of a celebrity movement. So they wanted to wear the same clothes that celebrities were wearing. So rather than try and copy what the celebrities were wearing, they actually went out to these celebrities, in this case Dani Alves, and launched a joint partnership with him, and then cleverly marketed it both in social channels and also on their site to promote this celebrity cohort. So you now feel like you're part of a movement rather than simply just buying a t-shirt that a celebrity has worn. So I think that's really interesting. The other one that I've liked really recently is Jaguar Land Rover. So you can actually build from scratch a Jaguar Land Rover, and you can see it in reality. So you can see it. So it's basically augmented reality. But what they've actually done is allowed me to fully personalise my whole journey. So it goes back to the first 2 points that we made. It's allowing me as a consumer to feel personally connected with a brand easily and simply at my fingertips.
I think that personalisation is the key to the innovation piece, really. If you look at the likes of Argos, who's right up there as a sort of top brand of mine when they're in the transformation that we've seen over the last couple of years, and also the way they're able to unify all their digital piece and personalise what they're doing. I think they've managed to really turn around the business. And I think it's a really good example of how, by using digital in a smart way, they can maintain their presence on the high street. They're also maintaining a really strong presence within Sainsbury's, obviously, as part of that network. But I think Argos really champions the way that they can innovate in a sort of omni-channel, more holistic way than some of our retailers might do. I think another one for me that's probably innovating in a non sort of technical sort of way, but more around the brand in a tricky market, is Lake's Distillery.
Yeah.
So if you look at the likes of the products they're selling, so whiskey, gins, it's a really hard product to pitch online, it's difficult to advertise against, but they're telling some wonderful stories, and they're pushing us at Visualsoft on our platform away from the kind of typical e-commerce sort of site, much more into a content story-based website, which is actually really exciting for us. And it shows that the platform can do more. It's not just about having a simple shop, but it's all about storytelling. And I think from a brand point of view, that's real innovation at its best.
Yeah, I think following on from that, someone like JD Sports, so a high street stalwart, really focuses in on that digital experience, but not the digital experience only online, so the digital experience in store as well. So that real sort of holistic full view, as it were. So they're offering their customers the same journey online and in store.
Yeah.
And what you start to see, you start to see this single customer view, and the customers going back again and again and again, because they're allowing them that, or they're giving them that single customer view, but also they're telling them a story. They're telling them a story about a product, about a brand. The customers want to be part of a movement, and it's how you can differentiate away from simply product plugs. That's the real key.
Lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It becomes a lifestyle, it becomes a community, it becomes a movement, and that's where you start to see the third, fourth, fifth, sixth purchase.
It's the consistency, as you say, having that consistent experience with a brand that understands its customers, understands what their lifestyle is and their tone of voice, and they can convey that well is the key to getting this right, I think, online and offline.
Yeah.